Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Sitting comfortably, are you? Well, whilst you're waiting, perhaps you could be thinking about everything you're missing out on if you've not signed up to my Patreon or hit my channel join button. If you did, you could have already watched this, or this, or even this. Unlock these, a new exclusive video every single week, and so much more, starting from just $5 per month. Over on Patreon, I deliver one of the strongest and best value for money channel backer award packages on the whole of the information superhighway. So why not check out all the perks I have on offer? Yeah! Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Richard here, the creator of the Top Hat Gaming Man, welcoming you to another exciting edition of Top Hat Gaming Man Live. I am joined tonight by my wife, Lady Decade, and we'll be having another evening of gaming discussion. So, let's get right down to business instantly with regards to the thumbnail, because generally the longer you go without referencing in the video what's included in the thumbnail, the more upset people get pretty quickly. So we've got UK retail chain CEX, who I've talked about a hell of a lot on this channel in the past. They actually helped this channel grow, probably to their detriment. But yes, what do you think of the fact that CEX are currently selling PlayStation 5s for £815?
I'm totally not surprised, if I'm completely honest with you. After that time that we discovered that they were making fake covers,
Yes,
nothing surprises me.
we do indeed have a history with their underhanded tactics. Literally a few years ago, I went into a branch of CEX and I thought, oh, Fire Emblem for the Nintendo DS. I'll have that one. So I picked it up, purchased it, and when I got it home later that day, I noticed that it was actually, well, a cover anyway, was a reproduction cover, and on the inside of the cover it said, what did it say? Did it say reprinted by CEX?
No,
literally?
No, it didn't.
It just had a CEX logo printed on the
literally
inside.
Yeah, and then that's when I pulled it out of the case and was like, this is printer paper.
Yeah, and then I posted about it on social media, and then I quickly learned that lots of other consumers was going through the same thing, so buying these high-end retro games from the retro section of their stores, only to find that they was actually reprinting the stuff, which there's all sorts of legalities surrounding that. And
did you mention? Sorry, I was reading as well. Did you mention that when we quickly checked on eBay, that they were charging the exact same price for a full game Basically, for
Oh yeah, there
full
wasn't.
game
They
of
weren't
everything.
they weren't differentiating whether they were reprints or not. No, of course not.
No.
That's what part of what made it so underhanded. But I kicked up a social media stink about that along with lots of other people, and it appears that over the years they have become less and less. I don't think they've ever got rid of the ones they already had in store, but I do not believe they're making them anymore unless someone can correct me on that potentially. But I've got a lot of stories about CEX which we can get through as we go through the evening. But in regards at least to their PlayStation 5s, what I've seen they're doing is they are currently looking for consumers to go to shops, manage to get PlayStation 5s for £400.
Oh, Chenzen, thank you.
Thank you very much for the $5 donation. I'm glad you're a fan of
They
the
say,
content.
love your content.
I love that you love my content. But yes, as I was saying, with the CEX, and they are looking for consumers to sell them PlayStation 5s, what they found, for like £400 at retail, however much they're going for, and then sell them to CEX for £600. Then CEX want to sell them for £815. So essentially, they are running a scalping pyramid scheme. And they're a major UK high street retailer with shops literally in every small minor town in the UK. There's hundreds of branches all up to this at once. So that's automatically going to artificially inflate the value within this country.
Oh, Stephen Keeley, thank you for subscribing to the channel. Really appreciate that.
Thank you, but we don't know whether you're here or not because you could just be
fair
watching
enough.
a random video.
Really?
Just about, well, yeah, it's anyone who subscribes. So yes, thank you if you're watching, but probably not.
Okay, fair enough.
Because it's rare, isn't it, that someone's going to be watching a live stream as their first ever video on someone's channel because they're not going to get the notification for it. You've got to be a subscriber to get the notification.
Well, they might have found it by accident.
Is that even possible?
Yeah.
I don't know.
I've gone onto channels and
I don't know if you can start with a YouTube live stream. Never seen content when you start with a live
Anyway,
stream.
Snarks Marks is saying, how much is the licence fee your government charges you for the privilege of getting scalped by CEX?
I don't understand the question. Can you repeat that?
How much is the licence fee your government charges you?
I assume it's some sort of joke referencing the television licensing fee. I imagine.
Ah, okay.
I think.
Oh, right, fair enough. Unless you're talking about tax on a product, then that is 20%. So the government will get 20% of the £815 that you pay over to CEX. So that's pretty... I suppose the government's not going to say no to that, are they?
But yeah, we had all this nonsense with CEX in the past. And the problem with CEX is they're a high street retailer, but they don't actually have any shame with regards to what they do they? No matter how much if you try and complain on social media, they generally just dismiss you or ignore you. But part of the problem, they're not centralised in any way, are they? They are is franchise the word?
Franchised.
Like Wimpy. So any cowboy can own a CEX and use their brand. Essentially, they have one pricing structure, don't they, across all of the CEXs, but there's no upper echelons. Is that the word? Echelons of management?
Echelon.
Yeah, there's no upper echelons of management. In fact, when I was a school teacher regarding CEX, that was the same time I was uploading all of these deflammatory CEX videos about all the problems I'd experienced with the business. And just randomly, one day, I was in my classroom and I got brought to me a new teaching assistant. And this new teaching assistant just so happened to be one of the managers of one of the local CEXs as his former job. And obviously I recognised him as the manager from the CEX branch that I'd been talking about in my videos. And then suddenly he was working for me as my member of staff. And that was a bizarre experience. Luckily, I don't think he'd ever seen my videos or was aware of them because, like I said, CEX has no centralisation. But I thought that was a very strange twist of fate over that period. Would you agree?
He was an ex-colleague of mine as well.
Yeah, we live in a small inbred town, basically. So yeah, she used to work in the local game station when she was young, and so did my ex-teaching assistant, who was also the manager of CEX. Everything's interconnected here.
Yeah. It is a small, very incestuous town that we live in. That's why he's opted to go for the most mixed race person he could find, to make sure that the genes that we pass on are not too polluted by the area in which we live.
Exactly. You know what boys look like on farms, don't you?
Yeah. Boys look like on farms.
Yeah.
Of all of the farmer things that I've been to, I've not seen any, like, the Hills of Eyes, like, style farm boys. Most farmers that I've ever seen have all been pretty robust and manly looking, to be fair. Snarks
They
Mark.
feed beef burgers to swans.
No, they don't. Oh, stop being an Alan Partridge. You're going to start with the Alan Partridge quotes, then you're going to move on to prequel memes, and then you're going to start saying more irritating things because you think you're really funny. And everyone's going to be sat there rolling their eyes in chat thinking, why are we here?
Has anybody got any questions to add to the
Yes.
discussion? What have we got then?
Snarks Marks has said, what game did Lady Decade beat you at when you first met?
You tell me. What
Aw.
games can you beat me at?
Probably a puzzle game. I don't know. I actually don't think we play many of the...
I'm not much of a competitive gamer, to be honest.
No.
You might have beaten me at Puyo Puyo in the past, potentially, but I'm good at Puyo Puyo as well.
No, probably Tetris. I'm better than you at Tetris.
What, we're talking about that Tetris thingy on the Switch? I can't think what it's called. Tetris 99?
No, just playing on a Game Boy. I think I can
What, you mean you can get a bigger high score, potentially, than
Yes.
me? Okay,
Yeah.
fair enough.
I've also noticed we've got a lot of people who are members to the channel chatting in
wow.
the chat as well. Look, we've got Acorn Electron with us, we've got Joel Hernandez, we've got Wesley Wyndham Price. If we've got any other members...
If you're wondering how we do that, by the way, it's because the channel displays your name in green. So, yeah, that's how we know.
Green
if you're
for
a member.
money.
Yes, indeed.
Steaker's here.
Hello, Sticker. How are you doing?
You're saying hello world.
Hello. There's lots of people I recognise in chat. Hello, Mr. World of Mr. Grey as well.
Mr. Grey, what, as in 50 Shades of Grey? Ooh. Okay. Oh, Gunther is another one of your members.
Yes.
And he is saying, I got into the Yakuza series of games a couple of years ago and I had to shell out £42 to get a PS2 copy.
Yeah, that's one of those series of games that just goes up further and further in value. Like, I think it's probably because it's one of those franchises that has got more and more popular over time. So more people are aware of it now, I'm going to imagine, than when it was actually originally released on the PS2. So, yeah, we have Andrew Mayo has just subscribed. Again, probably not here, but yeah.
If you are here, then right at Top Hat Gaming Man, hi. Drew Jameson, pardon me, excuse me.
Can't do that on stream.
I can't, it's live, I can't help it. Drew Jameson is saying, I used to be a manager of CEX about 15 years ago. It was a shambles, but more family run. Chaos and big money ups around by the owner called Bobby. He died about 5 years ago.
Under mysterious circumstances.
We've,
You
Mark
have to...
Smith has just become a member
Thank you, Mark Smith, for becoming a member.
to the early access tier. So
That means in future you will be getting content earlier than everyone else, and you will be able to find right now access to my Streets of Kamurocho video covering the recent Streets of Rage and Yakuza crossover. Speaking of Yakuza. So yeah, that's available for you to watch during the stream or after the stream at your own leisure, pretty much.
okay, so next question we've got from Mark Smith again. Hello, Mark. Saying, cheers, Top Hat and Lady Decade. My best to you two and your little one from CT. That's Connecticut, isn't it?
I believe so. I'm not so great with my American letters for states, but it probably is. I'm going to imagine.
Yeah, it's CT Connecticut. We've been to Connecticut. We went to the World Play Expo.
We've been to half of the US states, to be fair, so there's a 50-50
Yeah.
chance of us of being to whatever state you happen to be in if you're in America. Probably more than 50%, because I'm imagining most of the states we've not been to are the obscure ones where no one lives, because we tried to go to interesting
we
ones. I know there were some we missed which were decent.
No, we did drive through Kansas.
You're going to be offending the one person who's
Iowa.
watching from Kansas or Iowa now.
Well, the road that we went on, I saw nothing.
Nebraska, that was very corny as well, wasn't it?
Yeah, and then I remember we was driving towards Colorado, and in the distance I could just see these outrageous, beautiful mountains, and just sitting there thinking, wow, on a hot sunny day, these golden cornfields with these outrageous mountains in the background must look so beautiful. But we've got lots more questions.
And
coming
yes,
up.
Mark Smith, I do know you from Twitter. Yes.
Nice. Cosmic Wartoad, what's the most obscure beat 'em up that you've played?
Obscure beat 'em up. How do you define obscure? I don't know. What? I feel like nothing's obscure anymore because the moment I play something, I generally make a video on it, and then it's not obscure.
Well, yeah,
well,
but
10,000
then,
people have heard about.
For example, did you get to have a go on Golden Axe? Because surely that's fairly obscure. Or
Well, Streets of Camarocho, I know a few people have played it, but it's only become available in the last 6 weeks. It was only available for a couple of days as well, so maybe that one. And I feel like I'm the first person who's just made a video with any depth on it about the game. So maybe Streets of Camarocho, we can say that.
QWERTY Visual is saying, do you have some Neo Geo stuff? The arcade and less expensive one, of course.
No, sadly. The only Neo Geo thing is that dreadful Neo Geo Mini on the shelf above. And I've got a Neo Geo Pocket Color as well. And a lot of games. So yeah, I've got Neo Geo Pocket Color stuff. But no, none of the scary, expensive stuff.
Yeah, you're right, Mark Smith. You are. I am Neve G on Twitter. Yes, I know you. You retweeted me the other week as well. Thank you. Snark Marks again is saying, don't try it. CEX has the high ground.
CEX. I'm trying to think of a good prequel quote.
I don't know. You brought them down with your videos about them before, and that did force them to change.
Well, this isn't going to change them because they're not really doing anything
illegal.
Yeah, it's just bad taste. It's like, would you really want to have your company in that light? But if it's a company where it's not centralised in any way, then who's to take accountability for it? There isn't anyone, is there? There must be a team who fixes pricing, but I don't know how that works.
Joel, thank you.
Thank you very much for your $5 super chat donation. It is super indeed. I trust your channel. Thank you. Oh, I'm glad you trust my channel. Thank you.
Cosmic Wartoad is saying that the most obscure game that he's played is Mutant Fighter. Have you heard of that?
Mutant Fighter. No, again, I can't think of any particularly I've not heard of it, so it must be obscure. But I can't think of any really obscure beat 'em ups what other people wouldn't have necessarily heard of. What jumped to my mind, if that makes sense. I've owned a copy of Mutant Rampage Body Slam for the Philips CDI, but everyone knows that's one of the greatest beat 'em ups that's ever been made. So I wouldn't really call that obscure.
Okay, Sir Boring Old Fart is saying, evening, Top Hat and Lady Decade.
Good evening. Okay, thank you.
Yeah, everything is fine, although it tends to work out at the moment that every single time we manage to get a day off for Top Hat, I end up having some kind of maternity related hospital appointment. So his next day off was going to end up being Tuesday, and I've got physiotherapy booked in. And then for like the
I'm literally Big Daddy Top Hat on those days where I'm parenting on my own.
He can't cope.
I can cope. But it's sad having no days off at all.
Yeah, but you love being with George on
your
own.
Yeah,
you love
on my own. No, I do like it. But
so you get to go off and do stuff that I can't physically do at the moment, and then George actually gets a change of scenery, which is obviously a nice little.
But as you know, I've wanted to visit my grandmother for a long time now,
yeah.
and I've had no opportunities.
Yeah, but then our son's had tonsillitis, so basically I've had to the last 2 weeks in a row take him to hospital because the first load of antibiotics they gave him only cleared up an ear infection and didn't clear up his actual tonsillitis. So then exactly a week later I ended up taking him back, and then that means that apart from lockdown where we couldn't see anyone really anyway, we also haven't, now that lockdown's changed, been able to do anything else with him because he's just been too poorly. Man Shovel, thank you.
And Man Shovel has said PS5 is trash. Sega Master System overall. Yes.
That looks nice and dusty. What? Don't kiss it, it's covered in dust. You had an allergy test come back.
Oh yeah, you're right.
You shouldn't be kissing that. Your face is going to swell up. He had an allergy test the other day, and of the 20 things there and then that they actually tested him for, he was allergic to 18 of them, and dust was one of the ones that he had the worst reaction
that's my kryptonite,
to.
apparently.
Yeah. So as you can see, everything behind us, this room is like a dust magnet, and I literally spent a couple of hours the other night having to go through the whole room. The problem is that I can't reach the top shelves, which is where that Master System has just come from. So I haven't been able to do it. So don't forget, if you've got any questions, start them with @TopHatGamingMan, because otherwise I can't see them very well without my glasses on. But I can't wear my glasses because there's too much reflection on them from the screens. And if I miss your question, please feel free to spam it, because then I will do my best to get to it. So, God, I can't get over this scalping thing. I'm sorry to go.
It's nothing new. The CEX.
Versified, thank you.
And he says, you two are cute together. Thank you. CEX looks like a more villainous version of GameStop. Yeah. To be fair, we've been to a lot of GameStops, haven't we, over the years, over in America.
America.
And yes, CEX is a different level of. Their stores are a wretched hive of scum and villainy.
Oh, and they stink as well.
Oh yeah, they smell. They smell really, really bad. I'll tell you why they're so different to GameStop, because GameStop sells new products. CEX only sells second-hand products. So they're literally the personification of a scumbag reseller. Only it's a nationwide 150 store chain, isn't it?
Yeah.
In fact, it was a global chain at one point. They was operating in America. I've been to a CEX branch in Philadelphia, but from all I have learned, they failed to they failed in America. Basically, they failed to break America.
So Acorn Electron is saying, favourite built-in console game.
Alex Kidd in Miracle World every day.
I can't think really. I've never really had anything.
Isn't any?
I've never had anything from launch, so I can't say. PS3 Gaming Scotland, Top Hat Gaming Man. Where did you two meet, or where did yous meet?
Where did we meet?
Late night shopping.
I thought we met before that.
No, that was the first time we actually met, wasn't it? On the late night shopping.
Probably not. I shouldn't imagine so.
No, I'm certain it was late night shopping.
We've been together a very, 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 very long time.
It was late night shopping. 1,000,000%. It was late night shopping. That was the first time I actually
met you before that in Lindale Lodge.
That was after.
That was before as well, I'm sure.
No, it was definitely after.
We don't know. That's your answer.
No. Let me. 1,000,000%. We met each other when I was with Penny and Ashley. And I was going late night shopping with them, and they said to me, "Oh, we've invited a couple of our friends to come along as well." Then you and Ryan got on the bus, and then we all went to town together and all went round the shops. And then Penny and Ashley were being all over you and Ryan, and I was quietly extremely taken with you, despite technically dating someone else. And I ended up having to break up with that person so that I could ask you out.
Mr. Steal Your Girl.
Shut up. Slope's here as well. Hiya, Slope Daniel, how are you? Thank you for helping me last week. And as you can probably see, I still haven't worked out how to make that bot thing work. Hence it not appearing in the stream. Okay, QWERTY Visual says, did you see the... Oh, I've missed it.
You're terrible at doing that.
Okay, did you see the Console Wars documentary, the Netflix miniseries?
I have never watched it, and I'll tell you the reason why I've never watched it, because the reviews I've heard from my fellow people is it's too Americanized to be appreciated. Like they only give a very American perspective of history, and because of that, I've heard that a million times on YouTube before, so I'm not interested in hearing it all again in a Netflix documentary. I've heard it's all blah 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 Atari, blah 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 ET, blah 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 video game crash. But you can tell me whether it's any different in the chat. Yes. What do you think?
I don't see the point in watching it because it's just going to be irrelevant to anyone outside of the US.
I wouldn't say irrelevant, but it would be history most people are already aware of. If you're really into gaming, if you're quite casual about it, I should imagine it would be very entertaining. A bit like, what's that American program I like? the toys that made us.
Yes.
That's entertaining because I don't know much about toys. So every episode I learn something different. But if I'm going to watch that sort of show about games, I doubt I'm going to pick much up. That's all I'm thinking.
Oh, Slope is saying, did you get a receipt when you went late night shopping that night? I probably did, and then I probably lost it, and now I'm stuck. So now 14 years later, we're still stuck here, and I have to put up with constant stupid jokes where he thinks that being a contrarian is the most funny thing on the planet.
I'm not a contrarian.
You are! You're doing it right now!
Well,
You're
I'm not.
doing it. Yes, you are. You're actually doing it right now. You think you're clever. True Sinister says, Top Hat Gaming Man and Lady D, hello. Hello to you, True Sinister. And Joel Hernandez, another one of our members, is saying, will you auction your hat to us members?
I don't know about auction. Maybe I could do it as a giveaway, and that means at a future stream I can be like big giveaway and put that as the clickbait thumbnail. That sounds like a better plan.
Would you actually give away this particular hat, or would you like buy in a load of like crappy knockoffs, and then just maybe like wear them for a few hours?
Or I could go for full clickbait like that other YouTuber did, where he, for some reason, it were those two young, like, scrawny brothers, and one of them was like,
oh, they were pretending to die.
One of them was like, the truth is, I'm dying, and this can be one of the last videos we ever do, but please stick around if you want to win this at the end, do the giveaway. Doesn't even make any sense.
Giveaway channels.
Giveaway in the same video. You're announcing you're dying.
But subscribe to this channel and we'll get to 10,000 likes, and then follow us on Instagram and this, that and the other, and we'll do a giveaway. But by the way, we're dying. No, you're not. You're absolutely not. Jay Lee is saying, have you played any of the Tenchu games?
Oh, only the first one, and the first one I played to death back in the day, like many times, and tried to like get through each of the levels without getting detected at all. It's one of those games, like a bit like GoldenEye. It's not aged the best these days. So if you can let me know whether there was any Tenchu games after the first one that's worth a visit, let me know.
Number Jester is saying, should I join the channel?
Yes, everyone should join the channel. It's the right thing to do.
All of you, right now, if you aren't already, then you must.
In fact, I'm going to let them know why they should be joining. So, hello, ladies and gentlemen. Sitting comfortably, are you? Well, whilst you're waiting, perhaps you could be thinking about everything you're missing out on if you've not signed up to my Patreon or hit my channel join button. If you did, you could have already watched this, or this, or even this. Unlock these, a new exclusive video every single week, and so much more, starting from just $5 per month. Over on Patreon, I deliver one of the strongest and best value for money channel backer award packages on the whole of the information superhighway. So why not check out all the perks I have on offer? Yeah! Yeah! Thank you for watching my shameless plug.
Sebastian, Sebastian is like my internet bestest friend ever, and he's just donated $5. So thank you so much. But yes, he is my internet BFF. But also, whenever you watch any of our videos, or any of Richard's videos, I must stop claiming them as my own.
I don't know whether, sorry, I'm just going to interrupt. I want to thank, because I don't know whether it's going to come, Number Jester and True Sinister for both becoming early access tier members by hitting the YouTube join button. Our widget, I think they're called widgets, have stopped popping up on the screen. I don't know why. Never done that before.
Yeah, but
maybe they're going to be late. Maybe they're delayed.
Maybe it's because we pressed that button.
But thank you.
Maybe they'll come back. But we'll check again on the next one which pops up, and then see whether it's mucking up or not. But yes, so if you recognise the name Sebastian Velez, it is because his name comes up at the beginning of every single video with a different
title.
Yeah, with an amazing title, like the Dauphin of donations and things like that because he is a very special person when it comes to the channel. So thank you. Sebastian.
Meh has said, what do you think of Game Centre CX? CX. I don't know what that is. Is that the museum in Texas? I don't know what CX means.
I don't know. But Met is also then saying, what do you think of Billy Mitchell and him trying to sue everyone about his high score thing?
Best villain in gaming history, in my opinion.
Oh, God.
Beautiful hair as well. Always got to bring it up.
No, he doesn't have beautiful hair. He doesn't. He just looks like a prat.
I like Billy Mitchell.
Yeah, well, okay, you like Billy Mitchell. I'm definitely on the fence about Billy Mitchell. Jay Lee was saying, yes, Tenchu 2 and 1 were the best in the series. And George Mosley is saying, what is your favourite Tomb Raider game?
I'm not actually a Tomb Raider fan at all, so I can't even give you one.
Tomb Raider 2! Tomb Raider 2 on the PS1 is the best out of all of the Tomb Raider games. And I do like the remakes, and the remakes which are on the PlayStation 2, I think, off the top of my head, and the remakes that are available on PS3 onwards, they're all fine, but they're not a patch on proper Tomb Raider 2. That's all I'm going to say about it. Best game ever. If my sister's sitting here watching this, then say so in the chat, because my sister is the queen of Tomb Raider 2.
Neil Flynn has got a good question. He says, do you completely boycott CEX at all? And the answer to that question, I would say, is 99%. I occasionally go in there and have a browse out of curiosity, but there's never anything in there at a good price anyway, is what I would want.
Well, I did make you go in there the other day, but I wasn't prepared to go in.
Yeah, but we didn't buy anything. We just wanted to see what the prices were like in comparison to Game.
Yeah, it was just literally, I was just looking for something for Christmas.
And Game were doing better prices, wasn't they, on the same products?
Yeah.
And the products were new in Game, not second hand. That was what was really ridiculous about it.
Yeah, so I just I find myself not wanting to go in because, again, like, not just because of all of like the current year and the current pandemic and all that sort of thing, but you just get.
It never smells good in CX branches. That's basically what you want to say, isn't it?
Yeah, and sometimes, I'm not going to say any more because I'm just going to make myself look like a total bastard if I say any more. Andrew Peacock is saying, what do you think of gaming emulators and do you play them?
Gaming emulators are amazing, and yes, I do play them. I think pretty much everyone plays some form of emulation these days, wouldn't you say? Like, even if you're just gaming on a Nintendo Switch, if you want to play their NES and SNES games on there, you're going to be emulating them, aren't you? So I think everyone emulates now. It's part of gaming business. Okay.
Steak is actually saying, I go to CEX just to buy Xbox 360 games. Xbox 360 games are super cheap in Portuguese CEX.
Do our CEX even sell 360 games, really? Or PS3?
I don't know. I haven't been in for so long that I couldn't.
I guess it's because it's not something I'm particularly looking for, so I'm not sure.
To be honest with you, the last load of 360 games, I thought we bought them on eBay.
360 games? I can't remember. The last time I bought a lot of 360 games a long time ago.
Yeah, it was a long time ago.
But, I found a copy of Bully in a charity shop for the 360 recently.
So Snarks Marks is saying, do you prefer the Wonder Mega Audio or the Wonder Mega 2?
No particular preference. I will say they're both pretty cool looking.
Yeah, they're both pretty mega. Peter Mel is saying, what's your opinion on Nintendo Switch after 3.5 years since the launch? Is it worth buying it as a handheld for this time being?
Yeah, I'd say so. It's great as a handheld because you've got a huge library of games for it now, and a lot of them are starting to become quite cheap as well. So you've got a lot of choice there. My gripes with the Switch and what I think would have made it a lot better would be if it was a handheld that actually lasted a long time when you took it out and about, because I don't think there's that much point of a handheld that only lasts for a couple of hours. Like if you want to go on a long flight, the Switch is a waste of time. You need to bring a 3DS because the battery, you're not getting anything out of it. And with regards to the games, there's a lot of stuff what's being ported from older systems, especially the Wii U. Like I feel in terms of big first-party Nintendo games. The Switch probably has some of the weaker ones that we've had in other systems in the past. Like, we've not had a proper Mario Kart game on the Nintendo Switch. That's the first time that's ever happened. Like, literally since the Nintendo Entertainment System, that was the last system without its own exclusive proper Mario Kart game. And you'll find that across the board, it's lacking. Like, it hasn't got an exclusive Zelda game on the system still. It was launched with a Wii U game. So its flaws are not enough first party big Nintendo games and low battery. But if you just want a lot of games on a handheld, but a handheld that doesn't have a great battery life, then the Switch is for you. So it's got its pros, it's got its cons. I'd pull it in a mediocre system. So I don't hate it, I don't love it. It's just, yes, okay.
The battery's never bothered me, personally. But George Mosley's saying, thanks, guys. Replaying Rise at the moment. And True Sinister is saying, I joined the Patreon too. After years, your wife's pressure is what made me cave in.
Thank you, True Sinister.
Actually, I'm just going to quickly refresh Patreon because our patrons often leave questions.
Oh yes, we've got questions over there.
And we do. So
got questions over there too.
Everybody in the chat on here at the moment, if you've got questions, hold on to them for me because I'm just going to go through the Patreon ones, then I'm going to come back to the chat.
Indeed.
So first one, House of the Teds, my lovely Ted. Good evening. Hope you're all well. What do you enjoy most about the retro gaming community?
Obviously, like the benefit is like-minded people into similar things who you can find common ground with. Should be able to do that with everyone in society, realistically. But it's fun to have a common hobby which many people are into.
Yeah, for me, I've actually made quite a few sort of almost like online female friends who I can tweet and talk to, and then I get to see them in real life at gaming events, and that's always really, really nice. Or sometimes they come over to our house, and that for me is really, really nice because with like the current year, and also being a relatively new mum as well, I don't actually get much time for a social life, and people that I used to socialise with who go out drinking and stuff like that, I'm not interested in that anymore. So
most of them have got their own families as well.
Yes,
haven't they?
yeah.
That's the main problem.
So for me, I've been able to cultivate some really, really healthy friendships off the back of the retro gaming community, which is really, really nice. So next question from Man Shovel is, do you think the supply shortage of newer game consoles is a legitimate or manufactured phenomenon? And do you think that this will have a positive or negative impact on gaming? I love that question.
My answer to that, well, when there is a yin, there is a yang. So I believe it's partially manufactured, partially legitimate, especially when you take into consideration the slow shipping, etc., what's been happening during the 2020 pandemic. So yeah, I think it's a mix of both. It's a perfect storm.
Oh, if it's a mix, it's definitely like 85% manufactured.
I don't know. This is new.
15% luck.
This is new technology, isn't it? So it takes time. If they basically announce these devices and then they want to rush them out after that, that's pretty much what happens. So they can only make so many so quickly. So I do think it's a bit of both.
I mean, like I can understand, like for example, that they might not necessarily have had the workforce in place, or things
or the
like
parts,
that. But no,
the parts as well.
For me, though, I do think that it's manufactured. I think that this is I think that this is a ridiculous situation that they have orchestrated, and that is the closest to a conspiracy theory that you're ever going to get out of me. But yeah, I think they've done it on purpose.
It's a bit of both.
Man Shovel says top 3 black box NES games.
Okay, I've got to think about black box. Obviously, Super Mario Brothers, 100%. What black box have I got? They say because I'm not American and I'm not NES centric, I have to really look and think about this. I'm probably going to just say the ones I can see. To be fair with you, Balloon Fight, that's good fun. Punch Out, is there a punch? There's not black box. No, Punch Out isn't black box, is it? Black box games. I can see Gyromite, but I'm not going to say that one. Tennis, not going to say that one. Golf, not going to say that. Yeah, to be honest, Duck Hunt, no. Black box.
So silly.
Sorry, not that much of an NES expert. I would advise you to go ask some other punk.
Okay. So Man Shovel then says favourite Capcom shoot 'em up.
Capcom Shoot 'em Up. Shoot 'em Up, Shoot 'em Up, Shoot 'em Up by Capcom. Nothing's jumping to mind unless you can class Mega Man. Can you class Mega Man X as a shoot 'em
You
up?
just shoot.
You do shoot. Or are they talking more? Do they mean like space shootery shoot 'em ups? My brain's not working with these questions.
Okay. All right, Man Shovel's next one's a bit easier. Joystick or paddle?
Joystick.
And then Ronald Boer says, I just joined.
Well done, Ronald. Boo-ha!
Woo! Thank you. It's just, I'm just going to check one more time. Okay, and then Luke Samuel Denton says, some Streets of Rage trivia. Garcia is originally supposed to be called Garcia, but the interchangeable L's and R's in Japan caused him to be called Garcia instead.
Well, congratulations. That's a really great fact. Thank you.
Appreciate you. Oh dear. I love these. All things right. Okay, I am now back onto the chat on YouTube. So again, if I've missed your questions, spam it, and starting with that Top Hat Gaming Man. So the first one I can see is Cosmic Wartoad. Has anybody seen a documentary called Video Game Invasion?
Not to remember it by name, at least. No. If I've seen it, I don't know. That's it's not jumping to mind if I have.
Okay, True Sinister, hello.
Hello.
Saying, sorry that I'm asking this again, but a week later, I think you missed it. Was it you that said that the British microcomputers were technologically superior to the NES?
I don't know about saying whether they were technologically superior, but I do think they were potentially a better purchase for people who have the option to buy either or. And the reason why I believe so is because apart from the libraries on many of the systems being absolutely humongous, like on the NES you had 200 games in the UK, and on the ZX Spectrum you had 22,000. Obviously a lot of the microcomputers are older, so the Spectrum came out about 3 or 4 or even 5 years before the NES, but the games were really budget. So if you wanted to buy a NES game in the UK, you were looking at about £50, and that's £50 in the 80s. So what's that, the equivalent of £150 today? Convert that to American money, what's that, $200 to play an NES game? Whereas for the old microcomputers, the Commodore 64s, the ZX Spectrums, you could go to literally your corner shops, or as you call them over there, convenience stores, and buy games in the convenience stores, and they would come on cassettes. And a lot of the time they would only be like £1 to £2 each, and sometimes you would get like 10 games on one cassette as well. And you'd be able to get magazines, and then you'd have full games come with the magazine, sets of full games come with the magazines. So it was a very cheap way to game. And apart from that as well, piracy was rife and easy because the systems used to come with tape decks. So anyone could lend their game to a friend, and because they was on cassettes, you could get blank cassettes anywhere. And hey presto, you could just copy them and spam them around. There was a better community aspect with it in terms of like trading games and building big collections, where from what I've heard down the grapevine, Americans generally couldn't even buy most of their games. They'd have to rent them from Blockbuster. So they would be renting games where UK consumers would be owning them, whether legally or not.
Acorn Electron is saying, will you be going to the next Blackpool Play Expo after this mess is over?
100%. The minute you can go to expos again, yeah, bang on it.
What month is that normally in? Blackpool?
There's sometimes more than once a year. Sometimes there are a few Blackpools a year. So the last one we was at in Blackpool was October 2019. So that was the last time we was at that one.
Yeah, for me it will depend on New Baby and how old they are and how confident I am handling New Baby and George at the same time before we do that journey, because that didn't it take us like,
it's about a 6 hour drive for us.
Yeah,
very far. Blackpool's miles
I'd have
away.
to do a lot more stops with a smaller baby because they'll need feeding.
And to be fair, George was quite a small baby when we went up there last in October 2019.
But
he was just over a year old.
Yeah, but he was No, he was 7 months old when we went
to
to
Manchester Expo.
Oh, Manchester. He was 7 months old, and he got his first tooth.
Oh yeah, we had to stop a million times, didn't we, on that
Yeah.
trip? It took us like 9 hours or something to get to Manchester.
Yeah, because he was he got his first tooth, so he was teething. So we was having to keep stopping because he was getting so sore. But I'm sure none of you actually care about that sort of thing. Casper Niebuhr says, do you think that someone eventually could enter the console market and replace Microsoft as the primary competitor to Sony, like what happened with Sega?
There's always potential for it. We've got a long lives ahead of us, hopefully. So I guess it could happen. What do we reckon? A Netflix game console? Could they do it?
Jesus.
Why Jesus? Full motion video Netflix games.
Yeah, I think that's right. They had that Minecraft story mode.
A
didn't
Minecraft console.
they? Oh God. No. Oh. Let's just not. They had that interactive Black Mirror episode as well, actually, didn't they? I never watched it, but I don't like them. I didn't like them. Andrew Peacock, Mario or Sonic games, and which console would you recommend playing them on?
I've always been a much bigger fan of the Mario games than the Sonic games. And my favourite is Super Mario World for the Super Nintendo.
I actually prefer Sonic.
Really?
Purely for the bad fan art.
It does have a
Dude,
higher calibre of bad fan art.
If you follow me on Twitter, you will see that I do like to share my findings on Twitter when I come across something particularly magnanimous and fantastic, bad fan art wise. So, someone's House of the Ted, actually, who's one of our lovely patrons and was in the chat, actually sent me something earlier on today, which I did retweet. If you are brave enough, it is not safe for work though. No, it's not safe for work. Don't look at it. If you're somewhere, you could get in trouble. But if you want to find it, is at Lady Decade.
Neil Flynn says, when are you going to donate your unwanted GameCube collection? Something we've talked about on Twitter before, my distaste for... We'll talk about this, actually. It's a good little talk point. GameCube games, they have been rising in price at an astronomical rate over the last few years. Why? Why do you think that is?
Oh, because hipsters like them.
I think there's a degree of that, yeah.
It's the cool one to be nostalgic.
I think it's because Nintendo always Nintendo's got a big presence at the moment. The Switch is doing really well, and the GameCube didn't do well, and Nintendo haven't got the GameCube library on the market at the moment available on the Switch. So the only way a lot of people are going back to try and experience these games is by buying a second-hand GameCube at a fortune, because no one bought GameCubes in the first place, and then trying to buy all the games which no one bought in the first place because no one cared about the GameCube. In 2002, everyone wanted a bloody Xbox or PlayStation 2 instead. And that, to be fair, that whole generation I didn't enjoy as much as others, the PS2, the Xbox and the GameCube.
It's not just that though.
I think it might be an age thing.
I do genuinely think that a lot of people think they're being edgy and cool by saying that they're into the GameCube, like as though that's some kind of revolutionary trait to their personality, that they like thick rimmed glasses and GameCubes. I literally think that a lot of people see it as a fashion statement.
What, the GameCube at the moment?
Yeah, I think a lot of people say that they like it because they think that they're cool by liking it.
I think it's basically, how old am I? I'm 34, and I think there's a lot of people who are becoming in their mid-20s now, and they've got disposable income for the first time, so they're being a bit foolish with their money and spending hundreds of pounds on GameCube games. So yeah, that's what I think's going on.
Gunther Hendricks, do you have the Twin Snakes on GameCube? That's worth a pretty penny.
Which one? Twin Snakes? No, that's not one I've got. I've never really been into Metal Gear that much. I've got a lot of GameCube games that are worth money, because all GameCube games are now worth money. Pretty much they're downstairs. If you look at the downstairs, yeah, you're not going to find them in here.
Snux Marks, I checked out Lady Decade's channel when you were promoting it, but it seemed too similar to your own content. What do you each feel makes your channel unique to your partners? I know what makes mine unique. I don't work on it. It's not had a video uploaded for well over a year. And then before that, it hadn't had a video uploaded for about 9 months.
I guess they're probably more similar than they used to be because they were made at different. The videos on it were made at different times. Like you was doing beat 'em ups on there years before I was doing them on my channel, so I can see why they're similar now. But at the time when they was when they was both being run simultaneously in real time, they had very different content. Like she was doing beat 'em ups, and I was doing cancelled consoles, failed consoles, and stuff like that. So I can see why you'd say they're similar now, but when they was both active, they were very different.
And then Met is saying, what do you think of the Mr. FPGA project?
I don't know enough about it, sadly.
What is it?
Why do you need to ask? I might not have known what it was, and I would have looked like an idiot.
Oh.
That was stupid.
I don't know.
It's like a Raspberry Pi, like sort of thing. It's an emulation device. I'm just saying, though, you could have set me up. Yeah, I'm saying you could have set me up to look like an idiot there. I could have been lying.
Well, were you lying?
No, but I'm just saying.
That's not my fault. You're normally encyclopedic about everything. It's not my fault if you've missed something. At least I'm honest and say I don't know anything about anything. That would have been really funny.
You're an idiot.
I'd love to see you squirm live on the internet. That'd be really, really funny.
She's doing it again.
No, stop it. No, you're making me sweat now. Stop it. It's so boring old fart. He's saying, have you seen the Sonic movie? If so, what's your opinion?
I haven't seen it.
I think it was great, at least compared to other game movies.
I think that's it. Because of how bad game movies generally are, I've avoided it purposely.
They're not
because
all
of that reason.
bad.
Yes, they are.
No, the Tomb Raider movies are fine.
Are you joking?
They were great. Me and my sister loved them.
God.
They were excellent.
No.
They introduced us to Gerard Butler.
No, horrible films.
So after that, me and Christy were like, "Oh, Gerard Butler." Okay, Acorn Electron is saying, "Top Hat and Lady Decade, are you prepped? And are you prepped for looking forward to Christmas?"
As much as we can do in these very strange times, I guess.
We've only got 3 presents left to buy. So I'm not going to say what the ones those are online because people watch this stuff back. So I'm not saying any more now. Horizon Brave says, so I know the Game Awards are not exactly the best way to judge any game at all, but would you prefer no awards at all or somehow fix the current award system?
Fix the system, I guess, if it needs fixing. But again, it's just like taste is personal, isn't it? So it's quite hard to judge what should be getting the best awards necessarily. Streets of Rage 4 is my game of the year.
To be honest with you, I'm not very good at following stuff like Bonda Show. Thank you very much for your super chat. He says, I own both Panzer Dragoon Saga and Magic Knight Raya for complete inbox in new condition for the Sega Saturn.
Quality. Here's my precious Panzer Dragoon Saga.
Wait a second, hang on. But Bonda Show's just done that twice. Thank you.
Oh, thank you, sir.
He's saying both are worth $1,200 each here now in America. I have tons of other games now worth astronomical amounts that I bought way back when. I'm 44
That's
now.
the way to do it, isn't
Legend.
it? Yeah, that's the way to do it. Like my whole GameCube, like I said, I've got over 100 GameCube games, and most of the ones anyone would want. And I paid pennies for all of them because I pretty much purchased the majority of them either when they were new or just after the Wii launched when they all got reduced to practically nothing.
So there you go. Retro gaming collecting tip.
Obtain
a time machine and then go back in time, buy everything, that you want and then come back to the future and it'll be worth a lot more money.
Yes, that's the only way to do it.
It is the only way to do it. But otherwise, it's just not barely worth it, is it?
Yeah, I bought. This was definitely one of the more expensive games I bought, though. To be fair, because I never had a Sega Saturn collection when I was a child. But I think we paid £120 for that, and I think it's worth a lot more now, like crazy money. I think it's like big money now.
Oh, does anyone want us to open the box and have a look inside of it? Do a bit of the old unboxing. Take off its clothes and see what's inside.
But again, I could be lying to you, and you would have made me look like an idiot. It might not really be, but it might be empty. It might be empty.
Let's just open it and make sure it isn't empty then.
No, leave people wondering.
All these years
It's
I've
all
been
empty.
thinking you've been investing.
Yeah, none of them are boxes. There's nothing in here near the boxes.
All this money he's been investing. He's been buying empty boxes. Where's the money gone? Bonder Show, thank you so much. So, brilliant advice, thank you. No, but seriously, where's the money gone? If
Who
these are
knows?
all empty boxes. Yeah. Joel Hernandez is saying, auction it.
Like Steaker says, indeed, but it would be buy PS4 games now because the prices will start to go up and down now that the PS5 is out. I think they will drop, but not quite yet. I reckon once the PlayStation 5 and Series X become readily available, once they're not being scalped anymore, that's when they will start like dropping like flies. When anyone can just go out there and buy a PlayStation 5.
Yeah. So we believe this firmly enough that I bought we've had loads of subscribers since being online. I bought my sister a PS4 game for Christmas, which I didn't think she had. And it was £25. It was medieval, because I'm not giving it to her now, so it's okay for me to say that. It was £25, so I'm taking it back to the shop. I'm having my £25 back, and I will go out and re-buy it when it's an actual more sensible price, in my opinion.
Yeah, because it's a PlayStation 4 game. You know it's going to be worth £1 in a couple of years, so you might as well buy it then.
And I'm not desperate to play medieval. I can wait a couple of years. I don't care. So that is my advice. Take your games back. Rebuy them next year. Acorn Electron is saying they're not going down yet, but PS2 is going up currently.
Yeah, it would do, wouldn't it? It's in the same generation as the GameCube. So again, it's going into that market where small children are now 25 years old and they're buying back their game collections. As simple as that.
Oh God! So it's a good job we've got hundreds of those, and I don't feel the need to. Last time we bought PS2 games though was when we was in America, wasn't it?
Oh yeah,
And I was like, grab happy.
that's because buying games that wasn't released in the UK. So that's the reason.
Exciting. I would happily, if it was possible for us to do that, fund us on Patreon. It was possible for us to have a Metal Jesus Rock style
magical mystery tour on a bus.
Yeah, so that I could go back to America and just go to all of the different retro gaming shops all over the country again. That would be so much fun. We got told off by BA though, didn't we, when we was trying to come back because
I brought a whole suitcase of games home from America.
Yeah, so our main luggage had gone overweight, but we'd also filled up hand luggages, and the hand luggages were actually heavier than our actual main cases.
Could you imagine what Ryanair would have done if we had tried doing that?
Oh my God. Oh no, I don't even want to think about it. Ryanair stresses me out. I don't ever want to fly with them ever again.
Terrible airline. Terrible.
Oh God.
Ryanair, they're the CEX of airlines.
Oh my God.
100% worse than CEX. Terrible company. Never fly Ryanair. Avoid.
Though if you go on YouTube, there's even videos about it. People have actually made
so
videos
horrible.
about how awful they are. Joel Hernandez is saying, do you think the pandemic will have a part on the history of game value?
Have a part on the history of game value.
Well, I suppose in the sense that a lot of people have been shielding at home and have been bored, so have bought games.
Yeah, I guess there's a chance that people might be more keen to preserve things. Like house prices in the UK apparently have gone up more in this year than the previous 6, because people are now realising how
worthwhile it is to enjoy your home.
Yeah, so maybe people will feel the same about their game collections.
Goku, thank you very much for your super chat. Saying fighting game recommendation Omen of Sorrow
for PS4.
PS4. I've not heard of that one. Have you?
I'm not that great with current gen, so no, not familiar.
No, but that's worth keeping. The thing is, though, the amount of times that I stand in game and actually like look through every single PS4 game, that's actually one I can look out for now. So thank you for that tip. Appreciate that.
Thank you.
And then Max Cooper, I told you last week, do not summon Metal Jesus. Sorry. I just wanted you to pay for us to go on holiday, that's all. I wanted you to pay for our broken basement. We stored all of our games down there. PS3 Gaming Scotland. What is your favourite gaming memory?
Favourite gaming memory? What's my favourite gaming memory? When Goku-san DB just recommended me to buy a copy of Omen Sorrow PS4.
What a cop-out. That's such a cop-out.
It was the first memory I could think of. What just happened?
What a cop-out.
Yeah, it was a terrible answer. Favourite gaming memory? That's tough because there's been a lot.
You
I would
could
say
something
probably
useful,
Don't
like
cut me off, I'm
the
trying-
first time you completed Plock or something like that.
maybe first time I played Mario 64 because of how revolutionary it was.
That's a better answer. Okay, so House of the Ted is saying, nostalgia is a powerful thing. Luckily for me, I'm nostalgic for the Commodore 64, and most of the games are super cheap.
Yes, they are definitely cheaper than a lot of other pieces of hardware. Speaking of nostalgia, the ancient Greeks viewed nostalgia as a mental illness. Do you agree with that?
Well, no, not now, obviously. But I can understand how back in those sort of days, nostalgia could be seen as some form of malady. Because what are you going to be nostalgic for? Oh, my goat died. Oh, I really missed that goat. I needed the milk. So that is the sort of thing that I can imagine them treating someone suffering with nostalgia, like remembering their beloved goat or oh, my ship sunk.
But it's interesting,
But that
isn't it, that people view nostalgia today as a good thing, when if you go back through history, nostalgia was actually a negative.
I tell you what, nostalgic thing I do not like at the moment. It's 90s fashion nostalgia. I don't even want to go into
But have
it.
you noticed most of the people who are nostalgic about 90s fashion was not born until the 2000s? Have you noticed that?
Oh,
That's really
for
weird,
God's
isn't it? Doesn't even make any
sake.
sense.
Yeah, that really doesn't make any sense. But you see these people walking around wearing the most stupid bloody clothes.
Even our friend Elliot from the Retro Future, he loves 90s fashion. He loves the Game Boy and all the stuff surrounding it, but he wasn't born till 1998.
God.
Like nearly a decade after its release. But to be fair, I do love Atari and stuff like that, so it's not wildly different.
Yeah, I suppose so. You can sound like a total hypocrite, really, couldn't you? Bloody 90s fashion. I lived through 90s fashion. Well, my mum dressed me in 90s fashion. It was super cute at the time, but I look at the pictures now and I'm like, oh my God, that was what was okay. Steaker is saying, I'm sure I'm nostalgic for the time nostalgia wasn't nostalgic.
Yes, the Greeks, they had it right.
Andrew Peacock says, I remember borrowing disc-based games on the Amiga 3000 and copying them. I would play Ghouls and Goblins to death. Good choice. I'm so bad at that game. It's
I think everyone's so bad at that game. You don't get someone who's good at those games.
Yeah, but I normally die on the first flipping zombie that comes out the ground.
Fair enough.
I can't get past it.
Most
I
people will
just
struggle to get past the first level.
SMS 1980. Are you hyped for any homebrew fan game?
I don't keep track of the scene enough to... So no.
Well, the last sort of fan translation-y type game that you loved was Mother 3.
That's a fan translation. That's not a homebrew game. Homebrew games are games like Streets of Rage Remake and stuff like that.
Oh, like hyper fighting.
Yeah, games that are made. Yeah, a fan translation is just a translation patch, but over an existing
okay.
game.
All right. So, have we got any apart from hyper fighting? Have we got any hyper fighting that's on the virtual?
Well, a lot of
board,
homebrew
isn't it?
games, because they're homebrew, they don't have physical copies made. So games like Streets of Rage Remake.
Okay. Cosmic Wartoad is saying, what did you teach as a teacher?
Primary, so everything.
Max Cooper is saying, have either of you read Ready Player One by Ernest Cline?
I have not.
No.
So I can't give an opinion.
I know that Quang from Asobi Tech is listening to it on Audible at the moment.
How do you know that?
Oh, because he said so on the chat.
Okay.
Not in this chat. The other chat on Twitter.
Yeah.
I
was just wondering whether there was an app.
That's literally why I know about it.
We'll let you know what books people are listening to.
Yeah. No, well, no, it was just literally
general chit-chat.
someone else was saying, oh, I've just bought this book, and then Quang said, oh, I'm reading it at the moment via Audible. And it's really, really, really good.
Jaylee says, what's your favourite game system? I've answered this a few times recently. Probably the Nintendo 3DS. I like that it's handheld and I can play it anywhere. And I think the library on it's bloody amazing. It's got a huge amount of quality games. Yeah, 3DS for me. It was always the Super Nintendo, but the 3DS surpassed it.
Why didn't you grab, like...
Be messy and awkward.
Oh, fair enough. Okay, don't then. Fine. No one wants to see
No, they don't.
your favourite games
people
anyway.
send 3DS games.
Yeah, no one wants to see you hold the box, then open the box and prove that our money went somewhere. No one wants to see.
They can see that in my intros.
He threw a perfectly properly operating Game Gear into a lake, and now we're left with a broken one. Coincidence that.
There's no such thing as a working Game Gear. Mythical.
Yeah, unless you've got 600 batteries. Okay. PS3 Gaming Scotland said, what is your wife's favourite game? Xenoblade Chronicles. That's literally it. That's all I can say. Xenoblade Chronicles is the greatest game I've ever played in my life.
We both love Xenoblade Chronicles. In fact, I mentioned it in my Patreon exclusive video and members exclusive video last week. It was in my top 10 list of JRPGs you all need to play before you die.
Yeah. I don't really know how to carry on from that. Sir Boring Old Fart. PS Solar is a great homebrew RPG. You didn't get on with that, but that's because you don't read things properly.
What do you mean I don't read things properly?
Yeah, but you're sitting there and you'll have like an NPC say, go grab the sword from the box, and then you'll walk out of whichever building that they're in and go about 3 hours in the wrong direction and go, I don't know what I'm doing.
I do not like to ask for directions.
Well then, you need to give PS Solar another go though.
But provided I don't have to stop and ask people for directions as I'm playing the game.
But you don't have to stop because the game just tells you. You have an NPC say, you need to do this, go to this place. And then you don't do it and then get angry and like, I've been grinding for 5 hours. Emmy Kasama. Oh, thank you for the sub. You're not watching this, but thank you for the sub. Emmy K. Summer is saying, I love my PS2 even though it no longer can read discs as it should. If only I could fix it.
There are people on Twitter who can fix systems. So yeah, drop me a DM and I'll try and direct you to the right person because I can't remember off the top of my head. But there are people who can fix PS2s.
PS3 Gaming Scotland, what has been your favourite video or series you have uploaded?
Oh, I've always enjoyed making handhelds around the world episodes the most, by far. I love going out and shooting on location, and I feel the show's the most unique videos I make, and there's nothing else out there on YouTube like them, I don't think. They're not always necessarily algorithm friendly, which is really annoying, but at least it's something different. So, yeah, that's what I like making.
Steak has just said something amazing. What is your favourite 16-bit console and why is it the Mega Drive?
Yes.
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 Max Cooper says, I'm sure in your 3DS collection you have some hidden gems.
Hidden gems.
Justin is saying, your favourite Spectrum game?
Everyone likes Jet Set. Willy, I'm going to sneeze. Whoa.
Oh.
Sorry. I'm all right, I think.
What was that? Nose waggle.
It was sneeze avoision. Avoision's not even a word. Avoision's not a word, is it?
So, Horizon Brave, your handhelds around the world are the best.
Thank you.
It's great to get a tiny slice of background and history of where you are.
Yeah, I like doing that. I like making that show. Like I said, not algorithm friendly, but it's different.
It gives a bit of context, doesn't it? Thunderhawk X is saying, any advice on how to acquire the Sega Mega Drive version of the Valis series? Any advice will do. Goku, thank you. First RPG was Chrono Trigger.
Good. That's a very good one for you to have started with.
Was it available on the Mega Drive though?
No.
No. There you go. So, I've missed that question now. Mark Smith, though, is saying, I enjoyed your Handhelds Around the World theme song whenever you make a new episode. It's fun.
Yeah, thank you. So sorry, I'm yawning. That was made by Mike from Treacicle. So yeah, we wrote it, and Mike performed it. I wrote it mainly. It was mainly me.
I wrote it. You just thought of the funny song. You was like, oh, let's rip off that South Park song, and then I wrote the words to go with it.
So you're saying I executive produced it?
House of the Ted, thank you so much. Let me just go back up to that. House of the Ted is just saying, have you played Legend of Dragoon?
I have not, but where is it? I'm doing exactly what I said I would do.
Here we go.
Earlier.
He's gone to go get it. It's all
There's
right when it's on his terms. When it's on his terms to get off the chair.
There we go. I got it on a trip when I was in America, because in America RPGs are common and cheap compared to Europe, because Americans started playing them before Europeans did. So yeah, there's my copy. It's an American one.
So we haven't got a...
Not played it yet. Never got round to it.
Okay. Man Shovel is saying, how long do you give it before your patrons finally make a unanimous vote for a World Heroes video?
Yeah, you're right. Actually, that's been in the ballot for a long time, hasn't it? And it never wins the vote. So yeah.
No one wants
we
it.
don't know.
Perhaps everyone can go on there and vote for it.
Yeah, if you really want a World Heroes video, everyone needs to vote for it.
Everyone needs to sign up to Patreon, so you can fund our round the world tour. Oh God, I wish. Right, so that is how to get a Rick video, isn't it? Like,
Yes.
let's just sit there and actually make it.
Try and get a radical Rick video on purpose.
Could you imagine? All you have to do is breathe and he makes a video about you. And there you are, your best mates, with all of these other people, with all of your toxic Patreons. How dare you? How dare you?
What's that question from Snark Marks? What would you say is the obfuscated emerald of the Willy Mania genre? Obfuscated, is that a word?
Obscure?
Is that a word? Obfuscated?
So my English is, as you say, inelegant. So, if anyone knows what I just quoted, I'll be really, really delighted. Horizon Brave says, which do you prefer, tea in the morning or before bed?
Both.
Both.
Yeah. And no, you're lying. You normally have coffee first thing in the morning, you have tea later.
Yeah, but if we didn't have coffee, I wouldn't turn my nose up at a nice cup of tea.
I'm a double tea man, aren't I? I have tea both ends. It's not even funny. It's not even an innuendo.
It could be.
No, it can't.
You weren't visualising the letter T like I was.
You're an idiot.
And Justin is saying, did you go to Japan on your travels and check out the gaming shops there? No.
We've never been to Japan. I've always viewed it as unnecessarily expensive, but I would like to go at some point.
I really want to go. I really want to go Singapore as well. But,
I don't get why people rush to Japan a lot of the time before they go to places like Thailand, because Thailand is so much cheaper.
There was some really excellent retro gaming stuff in
just Thailand,
in Bangkok. Like, outrageous. Totally, like, you wouldn't have expected it to be there. But we had a great time in Wangbarappa, didn't we?
Yeah, it's like Bangkok's kind of made for...
Oh, Marcelo Paulino. Thank you very, very much.
For your something dollar donation. I don't even know what that is. You have to tell it.
Where is that?
It's what's our dollar symbol? What's that represent?
And have you played Dandara?
It's a Brazilian game. I have not. Are you Brazilian? What's your our dollar?
What was he saying about Bangkok?
I was just saying that they get a lot of tourists from China, from Japan, and from Europe and America. So it's a tourist place, and they kind of cater for all those markets. So you do get a lot of cool stuff there.
In fact, fun story. When we was in Thailand, we went to a little island called, was it Koh Samet?
Yes.
Really beautiful island. It was a national park that they sort of had limited areas where you could allow tourists. And I was stood there on the beach, first person there, seeing someone doing fire eating. And then all of a sudden, out of nowhere, came this entire swarm of Chinese government tourists, not the government themselves, but you know, when they have like the government issued holidays, whole swarm. I'm stood there on my own right at the front, and they all come in and push me out the way. And one and only time I've ever put my hands on someone in real life is I ended up shoving them back out the way and saying to them, I was here first. So there you go.
That's the end of the story.
That's the end of the story. Chinese tourists are nightmares sometimes in countries if they're the government type holidays, because they feel so entitled. But anyway, House of the Dead, which is the best second generation games console, and why is it the Vectrix?
Thank you to Marcelo Paulino, by the way, once again. His dollars were real dollars. As in real.
Oh, Real, like as in like Real Madrid. But
yes, yeah.
But that's...
Brazilian.
Oh, okay. Oh.
I like that they're called real dollars. I think that's hilarious. That's a hilarious name for a currency.
The real dollar. Yeah, Akon's got it. SMS 1980. All these Sony franchises will be ruined by LGBT and feminist agendas. Oh God! Did you hear about the Eton headmaster? Eton's like the most exclusive private boys' school in England.
Yeah, it's where our Prime Minister went, and our previous Prime Minister David Cameron was also educated there.
Yeah, so it's like the most exclusive boys' school in the whole of the country, and the headmaster recently sacked someone for
uploading a YouTube video
about patriarchy. But it seems that the video was actually allegedly quite balanced on the views about patriarchy and feminism or whatever it was about. But the chap got the sack anyway, purely because that it just obviously wasn't fitting in with the school's new agenda.
Or the public image of the most exclusive school in the country.
Yeah, I just don't see the problem with presenting both sides of an argument.
I've not seen the video to comment what side of the argument you made, so I can't really form an opinion in any sense.
I just feel like, for me personally, if you're going to have a discussion about anything, you want to look at both sides, surely.
But I've not seen the video, so I can't comment. Okay,
so Thunderhawk X is saying, would it be worth importing the Valis series from Japan and getting a Japanese Sega Mega Drive, or looking on auction sites? What's your advice? Thanks.
Oh God, well, to be honest, I feel that it can be such hassle doing that sort of thing. A lot of the time, I just tend to play. I just emulate personally, or I will burn off a copy onto the disc and then use it on the hardware. So yeah.
Thinking of that,
my advice isn't very good when it comes to importing games.
What console was it where we borrowed a load of games from Larry, and then it turned out that half of it was
I burnt off part of the games. He let me use his FM Towns Marty.
That's it.
And then I went on the internet and I burned off loads of games to play on it.
Yeah, but didn't you accidentally
some of them were hentai, yeah.
It was like, what is this?
Like robot porn and stuff like that.
It's like dodgy. Okay, let's put that one to one side. But didn't Didn't you post them back to Larry without telling him what was on the discs?
Oh, I gave him back. Yeah, Larry's hentai now.
Yeah. I wonder if he ever come across it. I'd love to ask him. I'd love to find out if he ever played those discs and saw what was on them. Wondering what the hell this Top Hat sent me. Oh god. TN0821 says, what was your first experience with fighting games and were you instantly a big fan?
Yes, my earliest memories were, like the majority of people, Street Fighter 2, the genre defining game. And my uncle had the Super Nintendo in his bedroom, and when I say my uncle, he was only 12 years older than me, so he had, when I was about, how old would I have been? Maybe about 6, so he would have been 17, so he had 18, he would have been 18, so he had a Super Nintendo in his bedroom with Street Fighter 2, and then my aunt, who was much older, about 10 years older than him, she was running a pub at the time, and she had a Street Fighter 2 arcade cabinet in her pub, so I could play Street Fighter 2 on his Super Nintendo, and then I played the arcade version in her pub, and I enjoyed both. So,
who was your favourite character to play as a child?
Dalsim.
Dalsim?
Yeah, stretchy arms. And then when
I'm related to him.
When Street Fighter 2 Turbo came out, which was my first copy I personally owned, I switched to Bison, and then I never looked back.
Yeah, so you weren't the typical Ken or Ryu.
No, not at the time.
Ryu? Okay.
Not at the time.
Okay. Max Cooper says, do you have an opinion on the DS multi-carts?
DS multi-carts? What, as in like piracy? Like as in like downloading ROMs onto cartridges and playing games? You have to be more specific.
Okay. Don't forget to shovel Ryu. Oh, Patreon. Let's have a quick look on Patreon for more questions.
If there are any.
What have we got? Yes. Man Shovel. Saying chai or Earl Grey? Earl Grey.
Yes, I agree, Earl Grey.
Mince and tatties or liverwurst?
Mince. I don't like anything with liver in it, personally.
So you like offal, but liverwurst sounds like a type of German sausage with liver in it.
I'd imagine it is.
I don't know if I like German sausages.
Well, not with liver in it. Well, I like German sausage, but not livery German sausage.
And then Man Shovel also says, Alex Kidd or Upper Upper?
Alex Kidd in Miracle World, which I keep clarifying. That one specifically.
Let's just do one more refresh on there quickly. Okay, no more on there. So, have we got any more questions? Jay Lee. Apparently we're buffering. Is that true? Jay Lee says, what's your favourite 3DS, or should I say most expensive, I suppose, game?
3DS, is it? They've not said game. They said 3DS. What's your favourite 3DS? Or should I say most expensive? You think that's meant to say game, or just 3DS devices?
Just say device, because we've got a few.
Well, it would be one of these, but they're very weathered and overused. These were collectible when they came out, but as you can see, they're all rough and they've got chunks taken out of them. And my Monster Hunter one's in way worse nick than this as well. It's like this. So yeah, terrible condition.
So I'm getting a notification, everyone, saying that apparently the that you're probably experiencing buffering. So I don't know whether that's true or not. Shall I quickly do a fast.com and see whether it's our...
No, because everyone just listen. Like I said, you don't need to do anything. Everyone's saying there's no buffering showing up, so ignore it.
I don't understand what it's doing.
Just ignore it. Saying the signal strength's poor, but if it's not affecting it, it's not affecting it.
Yeah, okay.
People will soon raise it if it does start going wrong.
Okay. SMS 1980 says, what's your opinion of Street Fighter 1?
Street Fighter 1, I feel like it's a game which these days it's one of those titles where history has been rewritten around it somewhat, a bit like the Turtles NES game I recently covered. Like, revisionists will try and say that it's a bad game, but if you read all the reviews for the game from back in 1987, every review is highly positive, and it sold very well, hence why they made a Street Fighter 2 in the future. That's why there's a sequel, because the first one did so well. And they even wanted to call Final Fight at one point Street Fighter 89 to capitalise off that same brand. So my opinion of it is it's dated, but it was a huge success, and I would like to do an in-depth video just on that game at some point in the future.
House of the Ted is saying, what's the most beautiful country we've been to?
Oh, there's lots of beautiful countries, but so I like Romania personally. A lot of Romania.
Yeah, I like Romania.
It's not so much countries are beautiful, parts of countries.
Yeah.
Because you'll be in one part of the country is horrible, one part's beautiful.
For example, when you're in Romania, if you're in the county that Bucharest is in, that's not beautiful.
Transylvania is lovely.
But you get into Transylvania and it's like outrageous natural beauty like you've never seen before. Same in the US.
Parts of Maine, it are amazing.
Maine was outrageous. Utah was out of this world.
Colorado,
yes.
Colorado and Romania almost look like twins, don't they? I'd say.
Oh God, yeah, they were outrageous.
Colorado and Transylvania, beauty. I should say, they're very similar looking places.
And then city-wise, I think probably the most beautiful.
Even Crete, you've got to be fair to Crete. Crete is stunning.
Crete is beautiful, yeah. Oh, Hobby Hands, thank you. Hobby Hands is saying, what is the rarest game in your collection?
Is it in here?
Go get it and prove.
It's behind you, so I can't.
Oh, okay, hang on. I can scooch.
Probably this, if it even counts, because it was made in really limited supply. This for the Virtual Boy Hyper Fighting. I believe there was hardly any of these made, like within the hundreds even. So yeah, this one.
Okay. Oh, let's have a look. Oh, Hobby Hands is saying they're from Utah.
Ah, lucky people. Very lucky.
That's so beautiful. I'm trying
lucky
to think.
Person.
Where was the place that we stayed? We was near. I don't know whereabouts in Utah you're from, but
Bryce Canyon
and Kodachrome Basin. That's where we were, and that was just really outrageous loveliness over there. Okay, Jay Lee is saying that's a very expensive 3DS here in the US. That must be about my gold one there.
Yeah.
Official Gaming Guys says, ever thought of opening an online retro store?
Oh God, it's too much competition, isn't it, when it comes to buying and selling games? Everyone's into it these days.
Yeah, and you would never sell any part of your collection as well.
You're right. I just want to keep everything, so
yeah, so there'd be
no
point. I tried databasing all of it once, and I think 4 days later, and I still wasn't even a quarter of the way through. I just ended up giving up. Max Cooper was saying, do you have an opinion on the DS multi-carts? Have we answered that one?
Yes.
Okay, Thunderhawk X saying, thoughts on Grand Stream Saga for the PS1?
Not even familiar with that one.
I've not heard of it, sorry.
Maybe it never came out in Europe.
Acorn Electron. Sorry, Wesley Wyndham Price. Let's get radical. Acorn Electron is saying, do you play any app games like Hearthstone or Heyday? No, I've got like bubble popping games for our son. That's about it.
To be fair, I do occasionally like to play a little bit of Raid Shadow Legends, the ambitious JRPG that changed everything. What are you laughing at?
Sir Boring Old Fart is saying, did you hear that someone made a remaster of the CDI Zelda games to be more playable?
No, but that sounds amazing. Because
it does sound amazing.
Yeah.
Yeah, I remember watching.
Is it a
AVG
remaster? Is
episode.
it's actually been finished, and is it for the CDI? Because if so, I want to burn it off and play it.
Oh dear. Hang on, let's have a quick look over on Patreon. Oh, here we go. Man Shovel. Street Fighter. A Street Fighter 1 or Karate Champ?
Street Fighter 1. More refined.
Rastan or Rygar?
Not a fan of either.
Golvelius or Zelda?
Zelda. Easy.
So, I think it would be a good idea.
Still going Kung Fu Master or Altered Beast? Altered Beast.
Should we play that again?
You can do.
Yeah. I'm going to play our shameless plug for the next 1 minute.
So we can have 90 seconds of breathing time.
Yes. Right. Breathe in on 3, 2, 1.
Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Sitting comfortably, are you? Well, whilst you're waiting, perhaps you could be thinking about everything you're missing out on if you've not signed up to my Patreon or hit my channel join button. If you did, you could have already watched this, or this, or even this. Unlock these, a new exclusive video every single week, and so much more, starting from just $5 per month. Over on Patreon, I deliver one of the strongest and best value for money channel backer award packages on the whole of the information superhighway. So why not check out all the perks I have on offer? Yeah!
I just realised what you were doing.
What?
I wondered what you was doing.
What? What's the problem?
Sit down. You've made the autofocus has gone
Sorry.
funny. Why did you
Just
do
wanted to
that?
make sure people are paying attention. That's it.
Yeah, sorry, I really just I feel quite pleased with that little plug video that we've made, our little scalping video. As we'll probably be called. We'll be called scalpers for that, won't we?
What?
But I do genuinely think...
Scalping? What's it to do with scalping?
Oh, well, or shilling or whatever it's called.
Yeah, it's not scalping. You're getting your terminology muddled up.
Oh, I know. It's because we've been talking about CEX.
Yeah.
We'll be called shillers, won't we?
What is shilling?
But I do genuinely think that when it comes to actual membership and Patreon rewards, that we actually do offer quite a nice little package, which is why.
Oh yeah, I'm proud of what's on offer, 100%.
But I actually also like the way that you've seemed happier being able to make stuff that you've wanted to make as well.
Oh yeah, definitely. The fact that I'm currently making one Patreon exclusive video a week means I'm currently spending a whole day on an extra video where I'm not thinking about the algorithm whatsoever. I'm literally just kicking back and making content in a more relaxed manner for the Patreon fan base. So yeah.
But it's nice because you've been able to make videos that if you put it onto your main channel,
they wouldn't get views.
Yeah,
yeah,
they
exactly
wouldn't get
that.
views.
Yeah. Because
So,
they wouldn't
then
fit in
this
with
way-
the current
this
videos
way-
I've got on there.
yeah. And then this way you've been able to make videos that you've been enjoying making, and the views doesn't matter in the
Oh,
slightest.
yeah, it doesn't come into the equation. So, questions, what have we got? PS3 game in Scotland, Top by Gaming Man, what was your most difficult boss fight? It's got to be the ones that I've still not actually beaten, I guess, and I'm just trying to think.
I remember you absolutely
really
doing
wound
your
me up?
crunch about some Mega Man bosses.
Yeah, that happens. That's Mega Man. That happens a lot in Mega Man games. The one in Power Stone grinds my gears, actually. The one at the end of Power Stone. Subscribers, very nice.
Nice.
So yeah, I can't think of any what jumped to mind, but the boss in Power Stone really, really can be annoying at the end.
Oh, PS3 Gaming Scotland also said, what's your favourite gaming soundtrack?
Gaming soundtrack.
Castlevania 4.
Castlevania 4 has got a good sound. Probably Final Fantasy 7 is pretty memorable as well.
Oh, yeah. Do you remember that Cambodian TV programme, which was just...
Yeah, this is funny. Speaking of that, when we was on a holiday in Cambodia, which is also a song, I may add. And when I was on holiday in Cambodia, there was just a random like Cambodian
telenovela.
soap opera or something, and the whole theme soundtrack to this show we was watching was just stolen straight from Final Fantasy VII.
Yeah.
So I was watching all of these serious television scenes to the soundtrack of Final Fantasy VII, which was hilarious.
Like, there was like this sad moment, and they were playing Aerith's theme. It was really, really funny.
Well, on national television, I thought that was amazing.
Well, there you go. What does that tell you? SMS 1980. Did you play Streets of Rage Remake 5.2?
Not yet. No, I haven't played that one. This is the newest update.
Andrew Peacock is saying, I started collecting games on the Master System. I've currently started collecting Dreamcast games. What's your rarest Dreamcast game you own?
I don't know if I own any rare Dreamcast games. Dreamcast is one of the systems I have an appallingly small collection for. I don't think I've got anything rare.
Show that one though, because it's funny.
It's not rare, but I don't think this came out in the UK. I got it from America. No, I didn't get it from America. It's Japanese. I got this in Thailand when I was on holiday in Thailand. So yeah, Seaman. I wouldn't say it's rare, but it's obviously this isn't English.
That's what I meant earlier when I was saying about the outrageous, like excellent retro gaming scene that you got in Bangkok. Like we had a great time there, like because it was all pennies as well. Everything was really ultra cheap. Man Shovel, thank you so much. Man Shovel is saying the typical Richard Parliament training regimen. You're going back to the gym soon, aren't you?
I am, yes. We've just come out of our second full national lockdown, so the gyms have reopened in the last couple of days. It really all depends on what exactly I'm training for. So it can vary. In the gym, I'm just pretty basic. I'll split the body parts.
Yeah,
so
you normally do that.
I'll go to the gym. I'll go for four times a week when I'm training hard, and I'll have a chest and tricep day, a back and bicep day, a leg day, and a shoulders day.
Don't lie. He always says he's going to do leg day, and he never does.
Yeah,
leg
I do
day.
skip leg day.
He skips abs as well. He never does abs.
You can't train abs.
You can train abs. You just don't want to because you
don't train abs.
You can train abs though. I want you to train abs.
You may, yes. There's a lot of things you want. I'm not training abs.
So boring old fart said, finished. But to my knowledge, they are only playable on PC, and it's the first two side-scrolling games. So that would be the 5.2 game.
Yes.
Thunderhawk X saying, try fighting normal enemies in Grand Stream Saga. So that's that one that we haven't heard of.
Yeah.
Max Cooper is saying multi-carts as in ROM dumps, at work right now. Naughty.
Multi-carts in ROM dumps. Yeah, I've got one from my my DS. I haven't got a 3DS one yet. It'd be nice to have one of those too.
Okay. PS3 Gaming Scotland. What retro gaming shops do you recommend visiting?
We have hardly any in the south of England because obviously ground rent is so ridiculously high here. To be trying to sell something niche like retro games is a very tough business. I only know one in Southend.
Yeah, Retro Hunter.
Retro Hunter. That's in Southend. That's the only one I know in the south of England. I'm sure there's probably more about, but obviously the south of England's a big place. But that's the only one in driving distance. Just that one.
And even that, really, that's driving distance for us, but that's not driving distance from normal people.
No, it's 90 minutes away.
But that is a really good shop.
It is good.
He wouldn't buy my books. Okay. Cosmic War Toad. What's your favourite anime?
Dragon Ball Z. And then I'd say I like the Flintstones.
Oh, that's not an anime. You're being a dick.
Yabba
He doesn't watch
dabba
anime. He doesn't watch anime. He literally watches Dragon Ball.
But
and that's the
the
only
Flintstones is an anime.
It's an animation,
Yeah,
you Burke.
so it's an anime then, isn't it?
Well, it wasn't made in Japan, was it?
But anime is Japanese word for animation, isn't it?
Yeah, no, anime is an actual specific art style.
No.
Yes, it is.
Flintstones is an anime.
Because if every animation was called an anime, then Scooby-Doo would be an anime.
It is an anime.
No, it's not
Yes,
an
it is.
anime.
Yes, it is.
Scooby-Doo is a Scooby-Doo cartoon.
We'll let the people in chat decide.
No.
See if they side with me or you. Scooby-Doo and the Flintstones are animes.
I will give you 1,000,000 Lady Decade points, which are worth nothing. But you can have them if you side with me on facts.
My favourite Japanese anime is Dragon
He's
Ball
being
Z.
a contrarian. Japanese anime. No, an anime is just Japanese. Oh my god. For me, it was Death Note. Death
Yabba
Note.
Dabba Doo.
Shut
Flintstones.
up. Death Note was my favourite anime that I've watched. Cosmic Water. I told you. So, what's your favourite anime? Retro Unlim's here. Hello.
Evening.
Sadiq. So I'm sorry, I'm butchering your name. What is the console that you use the most lately?
The most lately, probably still the 3DS. I reckon I've played a lot of 3DS.
Yeah,
recently.
you never put it down. To be fair.
Yeah.
Mark Smith is saying, "Oh, I'm
Retro
off."
Unlim just says Captain Caveman is the best anime.
Right, Steve. I'm not putting up with this. You're a contrarian. He's a contrarian. You're all contrarians together, just saying things that wind me up. I can't take it. I'm telling you, I am nearly a full 8.5 months pregnant. I can't take this stress. You're winding me up. He's not an anime. Hey, Acorn, thank you. Lady Decade is right. Thank you.
But they all say you're right because they're all wrong. That's why.
No. An Acorn Electron definitely isn't wrong because they're a member, so they're extra not wrong. You have to, you have to agree with them. So there you go. Yes, Hobby Hands, another one of your members. Thank you. Anime is typically Japan based.
Typically.
There you go.
Stereotyping.
Emi Kasama, LD is right. LD is right. There you go. Look, another one of these. And then the only person in the chat who is agreeing with you is Richard Unlim.
Well,
And
I
he's
don't care.
probably only doing it because he's getting a reaction out of
I'll
me.
say what I want. It's my opinion. The Flintstones are my favourite anime. They're not
Being a
changing.
dick.
They're not changing
Being a dick.
my opinion on
No,
that.
oh my god, you're such an architect with your 16 personality, got the same personality as Putin. I know I mentioned this last time, but he's got the same personality type as Vladimir Putin. That's why he's like this. I live with this all day, every day. He works from home. I have to,
Live with Vladimir Putin working from home.
yeah. Anything. This is like us all day, every day. He says things because he knows it's going to make me angry. Andrew Peacock, Scooby-Doo and Flintstones are cartoons. Sorry, the wife wins. Ha ha, you loser.
Dragon Ball Z is a cartoon too.
Thunder.
It's a synonym. Anime and cartoon is a synonym.
No, anime is different from cartoons. Okay. Right, Thunderhawk X. Did you see the Sega Venus prototype shown a few days ago?
Yes, I did. Beautiful. It's basically a prototype of a Sega Nomad. And it was the same, but it was like Game Boy sort of colour instead.
Oh, nice.
It looked very cool.
Why is this not bipped yet?
I don't know, it's probably behind. But Hobby Hands, we don't know if you're going to flash up on the screen. But thank you for your $5 donation. You said, did you ever give away a console you now regret it? I gave away my Game Boy and Jaguar. Silly young me. I haven't actually.
Gutted.
I've given away stuff in the past, my mum's given away my stuff in the past, which I was annoyed about. Or binned. She binned my CPC 464 and had to go and buy a new one. So, Amstrad.
Oh,
So
it's
stuff
actually
binned
it's popped up now.
Thank you, yeah. So I've had stuff binned what I've been annoyed about being binned rather than giving anything away console-wise. Because I've always kind of held on to them, as you can see.
Ab Sadiq is saying there are animes made outside of Japan. No, I'm not finishing that sentence. Okay, so boring old fart. Scooby-Doo is Scooby-Doo. Go. SF Joker is saying, what is your most costly console you have spent on?
Probably something stupid and new. I'd imagine like the PS4 or Xbox One or something. I'm gonna assume like older.
No, we got the
Oh, wow.
Oh, thank you. Hobby Hands. Definitions from Oxford Languages. Anime. To pronounce. Noun. Anime is a style of Japanese film and television animation typically aimed at adults as well as children. Thank you, Hobby Hands. Thank you, Extra Loads. I'll give you a big
But
kiss.
I am, I'm the Top Hat Game Man. I make the words and the languages. So
No, you don't. You're not.
if I'm using the word in a specific way, I'm giving the word definition. So
Yes, but if you're giving the word definition and it's entirely wrong, you're making yourself look like a dickhead. So, SMS.
I'm pretty sure if you go to Japan, they would refer to Scooby-Doo as an anime, and they would refer to the Flintstones as an
No,
anime.
they'd probably call it a US cartoon.
I don't think they would.
I think they
I think
would.
they call them animes.
I think they would. I think they would. I'm going to go on Twitter later, and I'm going to go and look for Japanese Twitter accounts, and I'm going to ask them directly.
But I'd say they say they're animes, but
So here we go. SMS 1980. Does Kenshiro from Hokuto no Ken could beat Goku if he press any vital points? I've not seen that, so I don't know.
yeah, I'm the same.
Max Cooper. Anime is simply Japanese animated shows usually aimed at teens or adult audiences. Cartoons are aimed primarily at children.
So what's The Simpsons then? Or what's it called? American Dad, or the other one everyone watches?
South Park.
Yeah, or the other one everyone watches.
Well, they're cartoons. Oh, I suppose.
But if they're not aimed at children.
They're animated TV programs.
So is Family Guy an anime or a cartoon?
Oh my god. Stop now. You're wrong.
Okay, let's
wrong.
move on because we're not going to agree.
No, we're not going to agree. No, we're not going to agree.
Yeah, exactly.
But you
Let's
have to
move
give
on.
in on this. You can't. You can't. You're just.
Leave my
Let
hat
me
alone.
take the hat.
Stop it.
I will
we've
wear the
got to
hat.
focus.
PS3 Gaming Scotland. Where did you get the idea for Top Hat Gaming then?
It's basically just it came from my days as a pro wrestler, where I did Richard Parliament was a character I portrayed for a decade, and it was a wrestling politician, largely based on the extremely villainous Tony Blair, politician everyone hated, that stole loads of his catchphrases, like started saying education, education, education. Went around the UK talking about the importance of the European community and the European Union and how we should all love it. All the Tony Blairisms. And yeah, people booed me.
PS3 Gaming Scotland says, what gaming YouTube channels do you recommend watching?
Gaming YouTube channels. Slopes Game Room,
Kim Justice.
Guru Larry, Stika, Kim Justice, Nostalgia Nerd, Retro Man Cave. There's loads and loads and loads of good channels. The Completionist.
I love
Lots
the
of good
Completionist.
channels out there.
I'm trying to think if there's any that I like. Tomorrow Arcade.
You'll be able to say good names for
Yeah.
good channels for days. Endless
Basically,
supply
let's
of good
just
channels.
rattle off everyone involved on the circle jerk. And then we just they're all
You
good.
can't just keep rolling off names, because
Basically,
then
if
you'll
you-
forget someone.
No, I'll tell you what. If you want good retro gaming content, go to retrounlim.com.
That's a good idea. That is actually a good idea.
Retrounlim.com has it all on there. All the good channels, they're all part of Retro Unlim. Just go on there. Everything is on there. If you don't need
It's a
go
bit
website, follow him on Twitter, because every single time a member of his community has uploaded a video, he tweets it.
Yeah, it's a bit like how things should or used to be what's called Retroware TV back in the day.
And do you know what? I'm plugging this, even though he's trying to wind me up. Bagpuss. It's not anime. It's stop motion.
Wallace and Gromit. Is that an anime?
No. Jay Lee says Fist of the North Star was a classic anime. Absadiq is saying Hokuto no Ken, Fist of the North Star is worth watching in my opinion. Oh, so that's okay. Alright, yeah, I've never seen that. If you know what it's on, Like if it's on like Netflix,
It'd probably
or
be on
Amazon
Anime
or...
Ram, which I've got to watch all the Dragon Ball Z and Flintstones episodes I choose to watch.
Okay. Hobby Hands. So when Top Hat loses a match, how long does he argue with the judges that he won? How many have you actually done that? Yeah. How many times have you done that?
I also once, a few times I went to the ring dressed in all like cricket attire, like a cricket player.
Oh my god, I remember this.
And I brought an umpire to the ring with me to argue with the referee and say we're going under different rules here.
There was this one time that he wrestled in our local town hall for LDN, and it was a mixed gender match against Rhea O'Reilly. Where's she now?
Thing, I think. What's the woman promotion? I can't think what it's called. She's their champion. I can't remember what it's called. Eve.
Yeah, Eve Pro, isn't it?
Yeah.
Or yeah. So yeah, he was wrestling Rhea O'Reilly. Well, I didn't realise. I just finish work and go straight to the show, and I'm sitting there in the audience, and not only does my ironing board, my nice ironing board, appear in the middle of the ring without my consent. It then gets Rich Parliament is then thrown onto said ironing board, causing it to completely just like dismantle and bend and buckle and get utterly destroyed. But then the flipping finishing move on the match involved his trousers being pulled down, to which he is wearing my favourite pair of French knickers. He'd taken my favourite pair of knickers, squeezed himself into them, and then had them exposed to about 700 people.
Storytelling.
No! Theft! Theft! You took my
Storytelling.
ironing board and my iron. My iron got smashed as well. Why an iron needed to be taken into a wrestling ring is beyond me. But you took my underwear.
It was LJN wrestling.
So there you go.
They were talking about the days I used to wrestle for LJN wrestling.
Yeah, they are comparable, aren't they?
They are LJ. That's a good. They are the LJN of wrestling.
God.
They're everywhere. They just run millions of shows, and you can't escape LJN wrestling.
Oh. It's not Mark. He's saying intergender champion. SF Joker is saying, please do a top 10 anime videos.
I should, and then I could put all my top favourites like Flintstones and Scooby-Doo.
Executive decision. You're
Should I do it as a Patreon exclusive at least? Top 10 animes.
I'm never watching it and I'm never helping with it. Omega Apple Pie. Have you ever seriously injured yourself during a wrestling match? Yeah, you did against Rocker.
Yeah, I got I got worse injuries than that one as well. I got a broken side at one point. I broke my side. Is that what it's called? If I broke that bit, this bit, I broke my side.
You broke his side boob.
I broke this bit, whatever that is. I can't even finish shot. Yeah, I got a broken side. So that bit, it broke.
Yeah, but you also really, really, really hurt your lower spine.
Yeah, I got fluid in my lower back at one point.
Yeah, from a monkey flip.
It wasn't a monkey flip. It was a backstabber. It was a backstabber.
Oh, it was a backstabber, but there was a monkey flip in the same match.
Don't know. I can't remember. It was a very long time ago.
I thought it was literally...
But I injured my side doing a silly flip, what I made up, which I shouldn't have
The salmon
done.
splash.
It's called a salmon splash. Yeah, I'm the only person in the world who could do it.
And wasn't that like twisting around like in the air like 5 times or something? And
It was a pencil, it was a big pencil twirl, like multiple times.
dangerous.
Yeah, it was dangerous.
It's
I don't do it anymore.
dangerous. Okay. Snarks Marks. Which hurt more, the knickers or the ironing board? No, the whole experience was just like it was just one whole experience, and I was sat there in the audience like this, like.
And then the venue said they never wanted an intergender match again.
Really?
Yeah, really. People. Yeah, really, really. Because of that match, yeah.
It's just so ridiculous. felt my pain. They must have realised what had happened after I'd gone and made a complaint.
I think it was just like old people complaining that men shouldn't be wrestling women, like people who take it a bit too seriously.
God, was that the same show where
I got in trouble wrestling on the Isle of Wight as well because I said in a promo that I'm glad Margaret Thatcher closed the mines, and that upset people as well.
Really? Okay. Right. So Joel Hernandez. Underwear sharing is part of marriage agreement also. No, it's not. I don't consent to my nice underwear being worn by my husband, who is bigger than me. Andrew Peacock says, I'm going. Remember, your wife is right on cartoons of Flintstones and Scooby-Doo. Good night, both. Good night, Andrew Peacock.
She's wrong, though, but thank you.
Sebastian was like, what have I just walked into? Oh, God. I'll tell you later. Acorn Electron is saying, medical term there, side.
It is. That's what it is. It's side, isn't it? Injured side. Broken side.
Richard on Lim is saying armpit. Acorn Electron, definitely side. And that's not popped up on the screen.
It hasn't.
Is it?
So Boring Old Fart has apparently upgraded his membership to the exclusive content tier.
Nice.
So you will be receiving access to the 4 exclusive videos I make a month, what do not go up on the YouTube channel. So I hope you enjoyed those.
Yeah, they're already there, so you should be able to just get to
Yeah, I think you can browse through the old community posts. But if not, when I upload the next one, which will be on Monday, I generally, every time I post one, I put a playlist so that you'll be able to get all of them at once, if not.
Hobby Hands just said, so now I have one more question. Since he was wearing your knickers, what gender was Top Hat representing?
There are no genders. Is that what you're meant to say? Is that the politically correct thing now?
I thought there was 100.
It's not relevant. I don't know.
No, it's all too confusing.
It's too much of a. That's a loaded question, so we won't go into it.
Yeah. Okay. Thunderhawk X will say, have you ever played any of the Sherlock Holmes games, and which is your favourite? I haven't, but I'd love to play. What genre are they? Obviously, I know murder mystery, but like, are they point and click or?
I'm not familiar with them at all.
No, but I didn't actually know that there were any Sherlock Holmes games, and now I really want one because that just sounds fun. Like,
it could mean anything. It could be like.
I bet it's like a point and click where you have to like work your way around it. Don't forget, everyone, to, if you've got questions, start it with @TopHatGamingMan because I haven't got my glasses on, and it gets highlighted bright orange in the chat that I'm reading, so it really, really helps me out.
Yeah, Sebastian V has said, welcome to the bougie club, because he's the bougiest of backers.
He is the bougiest. Definitely the bougiest. Thunderhawk X is saying puzzle walk-around type games. Yeah, I like that sort of thing. So we'll have to have a look on eBay later. Don't let me forget. Okay. Have we got any last questions? Because it's 1:45 now.
It is, yes. And strangely enough, I'm going to somewhere tomorrow. That's all I'll say.
Oh, yeah. So,
somewhere.
Somewhere, okay. Okay. PS3 Gaming Scotland. What gaming franchises would you like to see return?
Let me answer. I would like to see the return of
the other Fire Emblem.
What would I like to see the return of? I always give the same answer, so I'm trying to give a new answer.
Oh, so the one that I was thinking of, which
let's have a Guardian Heroes 3. There we go. No one gives that answer.
No, I thought you was going to say, what's it called? I've gone blank.
I don't know. I normally give the same answers. There's a new one, Guardian Heroes 3. Imagine that if they did that.
Yeah. Okay. Right. I think probably shall we shill one last time and then.
call it a night, yes.
Yeah, and then call it a night.
Yeah.
Okay, everyone, I'm going to play our shillings.
No, we won't play our shilling yet. What we will say is thank you so much for everybody who has tuned into this stream tonight. Thank you for joining us. It's been a pleasure talking to all of you, and hopefully I'll talk to you all again soon. Also, keep your eyes peeled, because tomorrow I will be releasing the video on the history of the streets of Camarocho, or if you're an existing member or Patreon backer, you've got access to that now anyway. Speaking of Patreon, we will leave you with one more shill of my Patreon promotion. So thanks for joining us. Cheerio.
Oh, thanks for having us, everyone. Thank you. See you later.
Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Sitting comfortably, are you? Well, whilst you're waiting, perhaps you could be thinking about everything you're missing out on if you've not signed up to my Patreon or hit my channel join button. If you did, you could have already watched this, or this, or even this. Unlock these, a new exclusive video every single week, and so much more, starting from just $5 per month. Over on Patreon, I deliver one of the strongest and best value for money channel backer award packages on the whole of the information superhighway. So why not check out all the perks I have on offer? Yeah!